G'day, I'm Tim Skyrme. This video is on lasting, specifically back lasting and setting up the forepart ready for the rest of the job. Now, lasting is actually the process of pulling an upper over a last and attaching it to an insole to give you your finished shoe. First job is to powder the last. You put the powder on to stop any paste squeezing through the lining and attaching the upper to the last. The next job is to wet your stiffener and then paste on the grain side ready for insertion. You then pull back the lining away from the upper and insert the stiffener grain side to the upper. Then once you've forced it back into place, you can then paste the flesh side of the stiffener and push the lining back down into place with your fingers and remove some of the wrinkles. Then you pull the upper over at last, and this will eliminate all the rest of the wrinkles that may appear. You don't want any in your finished shoe. Having done that, you raise the back of the upper 10 mm 7/16 of an inch above the feather edge of the last and nail it in position in the middle of the back of the last. Measure back from the toe of the lasting allowance that you have applied to the patterns, and then pull the upper back to that point and put a nail in. Then mark halfway between the toe of the last and the joints, and then mark the joints themselves, the widest part of the upper. Your first pulls are between the toe and the joints, one on each side. To use the lasting pincers properly, you need to grip the upper, push away from the edge of the last so you spread the stretch over a wider area, lever down on the pincers and then slide it back in towards the centre of the last at right angles to the edge of the last at that point. Your next pulls are at the joints. Once you've got them, you'll see that they are not directly opposite each other. That's not a problem, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Then you turn the last over and check that your facings are straight. Now, if they're not, it could be because the back was not nailed in the center. You may need to rearrange this and maybe pull the upper completely off and redo it. Now you pull the nail out of the back and then move to the sides and tweak your linings and stiffeners together just to eliminate any wrinkles. Then grip the linings, stiffener and upper together and pull down until your top line reaches the back height mark that is on the back of your last. Put a nail in below this top line because you're going to be pulling against that. Pull down on the upper, put a nail in the center of the back. Look along the top line from the back. You should see that the outside top line is slightly lower than the inside top line. The next two pulls are at a point where the front of a heel would lie. You put one nail in each side. These pulls are at right angles to the side of the last at that point. Now draw a line at right angles to the side of the last in the waist and on the outside of the waist as well. They will indicate that you pull in the slightly forward direction. These are your next two pulls. Put a nail in each of those and then move to the joints where the nails were left originally and nail 10 mm apart or 7/16 of an inch all the way back down one side to the front of the heel mark and then all the way down the other side. Then you tweak your linings into a pleat. You grip the lining and the stiffener together, or you can do them individually, and then grip the upper as well and pull them in towards the center nail and nail right beside the pleat. Keep doing that from side to side so you don't distort the back of the shoe, making lots of little pleats. Don't allow any pleats to go over the edge of the last. All this has to stay on this surface that you're working on at the moment. Once you've got those nails in, you then beat the edge of the upper around the lasting edge. Beat in an upwards direction and then over onto the top with the insole. When you've completed this task, you then go back and in the top of each pleat you put a nail at an angle. You would then push it upright with your finger and hammer it home. Then you can tap on the outside of that nail, and this pulls everything in tight and creates a nice flat surface for the sole to be attached to. You do this all the way around all the pleats, and it will pull everything in nice and tight and eliminate any wrinkling that may have a tendency to go over the outside edge.